Godzilla coldly killed a titan that never even attacked humans. She destroyed no cities. She was simply guarding her nest, and most viewers never understood why he did it. The answer is the most chilling and most calculated moment in the entire film. But to understand it, we have to go under the skin of 6 giants and look where the average viewer never did. In 2024, Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, opened up not just an action movie but an entire biological abyss inside our planet. Why did evolution turn Godzilla pink and not red? What's really hidden inside Kong's glove? How ancient is the ice titan Shimo? And who keeps her on a leash made of pain? Today we break down the anatomy, diet, weapons, and hidden Easter eggs of 6 key titans. And at the very end, we come back to Tiamat, and you'll finally learn the truth. Get comfortable. We're heading into the Hollow Earth. Not everyone comes back. Let's start with the surface world's alpha predator. Godzilla is an ancient species that emerged hundreds of millions of years ago when the planet was drenched in primordial radiation. His home, flooded temples at the bottom of the ocean trenches built by civilizations that worshipped him as a god. Anatomy. In his 2024 form, officially called Godzilla Evolved, his biology changed more than at any point since the 2014 film. He shed the mass around his belly and became lean and athletic. Why? For speed and maneuverability on all fours. His dorsal plates grew thinner, sharper, and curved backward. And that's not decoration. They're biological radiators. His metabolism spiked, and the plates dump excess heat so the beast doesn't literally melt itself. Diet. Godzilla doesn't eat organic matter. His stomach is a thermonuclear incubator. He feeds on radiation, the geothermal energy of magma, and electromagnetic pulses. Preparing for war, he drains an entire French nuclear plant. Why pink? Here's the interesting part. The color of radiation depends on its temperature and density. The blue glow from the older films is the familiar baseline. Pink, closer to magenta, signals, by fan interpretation, that the energy density in his cells has jumped dramatically. His atomic beam no longer just burns matter. It seems to disintegrate it on the spot. Easter egg. Look closely at his tail in the finale. A spiked bony growth appears at the tip, like a stegosaurus, the classic thagomizer. And fans are convinced the pink form is just a transitional stage. In Godzilla vs. Kong 3, due in 2027 under the working title Supernova, he may stabilize into an even more dangerous red form. But remember this, to trigger that pink evolution, Godzilla needed a colossal source of energy, not a power plant, something alive. We'll come back to that, and it's going to hurt. And while Godzilla was preparing his war up top, something was already rising in the Hollow Earth, the one who started that war. If Godzilla's power is raw energy, Kong's power has always been intelligence and adaptation. Born on Skull Island, where skull crawlers killed his parents, he was long believed to be the last of his kind. Now his home is the jungles and cliffs of the Hollow Earth, where altered gravity adapted his muscles for colossal leaps. Size and diet. Kong stands 103 meters tall. He's lighter than Godzilla and has no natural armor, but he's a 100% apex carnivore. He hunts warthogs, underground boar hyenas, drinks their green, mineral-rich hollow earth blood, and because of it, his muscles regenerate at incredible speed. Weapons and tech. Kong's signature trait is tools. His battle axe is made from the bone of an ancient monster and a dorsal plate from a Godzilla ancestor, which is why it can absorb and store atomic beams. But the 2024 upgrade is the Beast Glove, Project Powerhouse, a mechanized exoskeleton built by Monarch scientists, and almost nobody caught this detail. Inside the glove is a medical injection system. When Kong's arm was frozen, the glove injected a concentrated serum and adrenaline, halting the tissue necrosis. It also works as a kinetic battery. Every punch delivers a directed electrical discharge powerful enough to crack even Godzilla's jaw. Easter egg. The glove itself is a direct nod by Adam Wingard to Thanos' gauntlet from Marvel, and to the mechs of Neon Genesis Evangelion. And there's a theory that Monarch secretly built a chip into it to read Kong's muscle impulses, so that one day they could build a full Mecha Kong, in case the real king ever goes rogue. But notice this, Kong's arm wasn't frozen by Godzilla. It was frozen by a monster the film hid from us until the last moment, and that monster was controlled by someone Godzilla had already defeated once, and locked deep underground. It's time to reveal the first true villain in the entire universe. Meet the first truly evil titan in MonsterVerse history. Scar King. If Godzilla and Kong defend the balance of nature, Scar King is a pure psychopath and a slaver. Millennia ago, his clan tried to seize the surface and wipe out humanity, but Godzilla shattered his army single-handedly and locked the survivors in the hottest, deepest, most barren volcanic sector of the Hollow Earth. Anatomy and fighting style. His height, 104 meters. Slightly taller than Kong, but nearly a third lighter. His anatomy is modeled on an orangutan and a gibbon. Extremely long arms, a narrow ribcage, high tendon density. Where Kong overwhelms with mass and straight punches, Scar King dominates with insane acrobatics, dodges, and use of the environment. The weapon? The whip. Scar King has no atomic breath. His trump card is the whip. And here's the shocking detail. It's made from the flesh-stripped spine of a warbat, a flying serpent of the hollow earth, strong and elastic. And at the tip, a glowing blue crystal mined from the depths of the lava caves. That crystal emits a frequency that strikes the nervous system of the ice titan Shimo, causing her unbearable pain and forcing her to obey. Easter egg. The name Scar King and his fiery underground kingdom are a dark nod to the Lion King and Scar, who ruled the hyenas over the scorched lands. So we have a villain with a crystal leash, but who's on the other end of that leash? Who is this Shimo that a psychopath keeps chained by pure pain? She's not just a weapon, she's older than Godzilla himself, and once, she froze the entire planet. And now, the largest, most ancient, and most tragic creature on the planet, Titanus Shimo. In the myths of the Iwi tribe, she's called the mother of all titans. She lived on Earth before Godzilla's species ever became dominant. For millions of years, she lay in stasis in the deepest ice caves, until Scar King disturbed her rest. Absolute size. Shimo is a true leviathan. Her height on all fours is 162 meters. Nose to tail, she's longer than 2 football fields. She weighs more than Godzilla and Kong combined. Her body is covered in unique bioceramic, pearlescent scales that can withstand a direct hit from Godzilla's atomic beam. And at the tip of her tail, a massive bony hammer, like an ankylosaurus. Superpower, the frostbite breath. It's not cold air. It's a directed beam that halts the very motion of molecules. And here's the chilling detail from the official lore. It was Shimo, millions of years ago, who triggered the first ice age, permanently reshaping Earth's climate. But she isn't evil. In the film, she's a mental slave, a bioweapon in shackles of pain. Theory. There's a popular theory that Shimo is evolutionarily linked to King Ghidorah, since both can alter the climate of an entire planet. Fans believe Shimo's species was nature's counterbalance to the alien threat of Ghidorah. So a terrifying picture is forming. A psychopath with a leash, a living glacial apocalypse, and Godzilla racing toward power. Between fire and ice, chaos should have erupted. And if not for one creature, Godzilla in Egypt would have simply torn Kong apart, never learning about the real threat. Meet the one who held this whole world back from war. The balance between ice and flame is held by her, Mothra, queen of the monsters, an ancient deity that embodies the very life of the earth. Her origin is unique. She's the only one with a direct telepathic and symbiotic bond to humanity, to the ancient Iwi tribe. Her home is the hidden temple in the safest sector of the Hollow Earth. Diet and power. She doesn't kill for food. She feeds on the Earth's pure geo-energy and sunlight. Her weapon is the God Rays, high-frequency light that blinds enemies while healing allies. She can also spin an ultra-strong silk web. In The New Empire, Mothra was the universe's chief diplomat. Without her intervention, the alliance between Godzilla and Kong would never have happened. Easter egg. Originally, a different monster stood in her place in the script, Phasoric, a giant mole. But fans begged so hard to bring the queen back that the studio re-rendered the graphics in the final stages of editing. Mothra saved Kong. Mothra reconciled the Alphas. Mothra held the world back from war. But there was one Titan even she could not save. The very one we opened with. The one Godzilla killed, not in rage, but cold, by calculation. It's time to keep the promise. For last, we saved the most underrated, beautiful, and tragic titan of the film, Tiamat, a giant sea dragon whose name is rooted in Sumerian creation myths. She once lived at the bottom of the Atlantic, but after King of the Monsters, she relocated to the Arctic. Size and diet. Her serpentine body is over 250 meters long. She feeds on the planet's electromagnetic energy and the radiation of the auroras that gather at the magnetic poles. And in the Arctic, she found an ancient underwater cave, a colossal reservoir of stored radiation. Remember that place. It explains everything. Anatomy. In water, Tiamat is nearly invincible. She moves at torpedo speed thanks to hydrodynamic scales, and those scales are like diamond blades. Coiling around an opponent, she slices flesh like a circular saw. Her weapon is royal acid, clouds of toxic black liquid that blind underwater and corrode skin. And now, the truth. The average viewer will ask, why did Godzilla kill her so brutally? She never touched humans. The answer lies in the cold logic of the Alpha Protector. Tiamat was simply guarding her nest, but Godzilla knew Scar King and Shimo were about to break through to the surface. To survive Shimo's frostbite breath, he urgently needed a colossal energy energy source to trigger the pink evolution, and Tiamat's nest, that very reservoir of radiation, was the only place like it on the planet. Remember, at the very start I said he needed something alive to turn pink? This is it. Godzilla had no time for negotiation. Tiamat was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and became a forced but necessary sacrifice to save all life on Earth. Once again, Monsterverse proved there's no absolute good or evil among the Titans. Each one is an intricate biological machine, built by nature for a fragile balance. From climate control to defending the planet from threats within. Even Tiamat's death isn't cruelty, it's the price of survival. Which of the 6 Titans amazed you the most? And more importantly, did Godzilla have the right to kill Tiamat to save the world? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them and reply to the most interesting theories. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. There's plenty of exciting content coming your way.